because they managed somehow, as you say, to pull off a miracle here tonight. Let's get some more Manchester United reaction now. Lenny Yoro has been talking to Danny Jameson.
Lenny, what an absolutely crazy game to watch. What was it like to be a part of?
Honestly, I don't understand what happened. That was crazy. You know, the fans, they were crazy. They really helped us to do it. And yeah, really proud of us.
At 4-2 down in extra time, what's going through your mind?
Honestly, a lot of things, you know, it's difficult. But when you hear the fans, even with 4-2, you know you can do it. And when we scored the penalty, I was sure, you know, that was too crazy to don't win this game. Yeah.
So when Bruno scores a penalty to make it 4-3, at that moment you think we're going to win this?
Yeah, of course, we need to believe. If you don't believe, you cannot win. So we give everything, and thanks God we win this game. Yeah.
Everybody that we spoke to this week said that you're going to need the supporters tonight. It felt like they really turned up and roared you on, particularly that last 5 minutes when it got level.
Yeah, honestly, this is what the fans deserve. They give everything in every game, whatever the position in the table, you know, they're always there to support us. So I want to say thank you to the fan, you know, because this is because of them that we win the game.
There's a famous line of commentary in this club's history, name on the trophy. Does it feel like maybe this can be a springboard to go to Bilbao in the semi-final and maybe win and make it back to the final of the Europa League this year?
Of course, our target is to win the trophy. You know, we are Manchester United, we need to believe for this. And I'm sure we can do it. We will give everything to do it. And this game show everything, you know, until the last minute. And yeah, that was crazy.
Well done, Lenny.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I love that reaction. That was so genuine at the end from Lenny Yoro. That was just crazy. It must be so hard when you've played in a game like that and you come off the pitch, you're asked to go into the interview room and do an interview. And how was that? How do you sum that up? I mean, it must be impossible.
Yeah, it's difficult. Look, you probably won't sleep for a couple of days.
Yeah.
You were not sleeping tonight at Rio after a game like that. And
I'd have been out.
defensive as well, 5-4. It wasn't really a game for defensive people, was it? Look, it was amazing. It was incredible. They did get out of jail a little bit, of course, and they're going to play a better team in Athletic Bilbao. But as the manager said there, that noise when that goal goes in, when the fifth one goes in, and Kobe Mainoo with his brilliant goal as well. It's just, I keep saying it, but I'm pleased for him because he's had so many disappointments, especially Premier League-wise. He hasn't been. I said last week he didn't like his team. Probably the wrong word. I don't think he enjoys watching his team at times because he knows he expects a lot more. And he got a little bit of it tonight. He got that excitement. He got and this is Europa League. Remember, imagine Champions League with the big games there, the atmosphere. If he builds a team that's good enough to compete, it'll be twice that.
Well, they've given themselves a chance to still play in the Champions League next year, Rio, by staying in this competition. Yeah. They go all the way, they win it, they lift that trophy. Not only is it silverware, but it's their way into the Champions League for next season. And they've kept their hopes alive now with that. Do you believe they can go all the way and do it?
Well, they're in the shake-up, and I think that's all you can ask for. You want to get through. I said before the game, just forget performance, just get through, get into the next round. And they've done that, so they've got a chance. But I think he does. This is a team that isn't a reflection of him. That's his biggest disappointment. I think that's what he wants to get nearer to. And you need time to build that.
Here's how it's shaping up then, guys. So on Manchester United's side of the draw, they're going to be facing Athletic Bilbao in the semi-final. They're away for the first leg, then at home for the second leg, which is a big deal as well, like we saw tonight.
Big plus, yeah.
And on the other side of the draw, Tottenham facing Bodo Glimt. Will we see an all-English final? What do you think?
I hope so, yeah. There's certainly a big chance of that. It'll depend on how United do in Bilbao, I think. If they can stay in that game, if maybe get a sneaker draw out there or even behind by 1 goal, because we've seen what can happen tonight. Look, it's going to happen all the time, but there's always that chance. I think Bodo Glimt are a good team, actually.
Yeah,
I think they came in and they were really lucky against Man United. And Tottenham will have it's going to be a good performance to try and get through.
I think the big thing that you were speaking about before, I think is so critical, is how you go into that game physically. Man United need to be in a good place physically. Get your players, your experienced players back. Yeah. If they do that, they're in a good place.
He said it earlier that he's going to play all the kids virtually. Yeah. Premier League's gone. He's done. Yeah. I think it's done for him as well. He's going to rest everyone for this competition now.
Where did that rank in terms of games you've both watched as fans very quickly before we go?
It's definitely top 3. It's up there. I think it's got to be. Go on, wait.
I'm just thinking Europa League. And
yeah, it's true. Why is this
always
negative?
rely on Paul Scholes, to be honest. Guys, thank you.
And while, yes, we've kind of all been there where you get a last-minute equaliser or winner and you understand how that changes everything about the feel of the game, you're in total control against Lyon, a team sitting, what, 4th or 5th in Liga. And while you're in no great position yourself in the Premier League, you get a result on the road, you come back to Old Trafford to defend that. That result you got was despite goalkeeping errors. You're in total command of the game. Lyon offered little up until probably our mark. And see that out. You know, you're asking a professional team to do a professional job. And I thought Manchester United just were not able to do that. Even when Lyon got the first goal, that's when, and again, the complaint around Manchester United, you're looking for some kind of leadership. You're looking just to settle the game down. You're at home, take control. And I thought they weren't able to do that. But to Stevie's point, when you find yourself back, all of a sudden you somehow are able to get 3 goals in the space of 5 minutes, and it feels like an awful lot. And all of a sudden now you've got a new lease on life, in a competition in which is the be-all and end-all for this season.
Yeah, it was quite the ride, Nadem. What's your biggest takeaway from the United perspective?
The biggest, I'm not sure. I think everything is kind of the same. But one thing I would say is that feeling that they had at the end of the game, being able to come back and score 2 goals in the space of a minute in front of 70,000 people. I think for anyone that's played football before, that is euphoric. That's as good as it feels. But as we look back at the previous 2 hours, oh my goodness. I'll be honest, at the first half when it's 2-0 to United, I'm thinking they're playing professionally. And the talk is, they did a good job. They did what they needed to do. They've been good in Europe overall. Credit to them. Then so I'm thinking the game's over. Then it's 2-2. I'm like, okay, well, this is weird. But then Lyon go down to 10. Okay, so the game's over then because United's going to control the game. Oh, but now United are 2 goals down against 10 players whilst playing at home. This game is chaotic. I think the tie itself, the fact that, United are going through after winning 7-6 on aggregate. I think if you wanted a team to be strong, to be robust and tough to play against, I don't think either side really offered up that sort of mentality in this game. But in reality, as I say, fair play to them for continuing to keep going. Yes, there'll be lots of criticism that will come with it. But the fact is they're in the next round and they are 3 games away from lifting a European trophy. So in reality, there are tons of negatives, but the biggest positives is the fact that they found a way. And for those fans that were there, the players that, shared that moment as well, maybe this will give them a boost, and hopefully they don't have to look back at sort of any video analysis in the coming days about that game, because I don't think it would look too good, to be honest.
You can only imagine that boost in the dressing room right now, and the belief that they're going to have that they can go all the way now after a night like that.
Yeah.
Whoa, just put the brakes on a little bit.
No?
Well, the problem United have is that all of the things you just said is absolutely 100%. Euphoric, the boost, the whole thing. Unfortunately for Man United, they're going to have to play another game of football again. And when they start playing, they'll realise that euphoric feeling has disappeared and now we're back to normal. I mean, that's the only thing we know. We know that between now and the end of the season, whether United go on to win the Europa League or not, we're going to be talking about them, and we're going to be talking about periods in a game where you're scratching your head thinking, is this Man United? So, yeah, this is going to be a lovely few days for everybody connected with United. But as I said, the next time they step on the field and they start producing what we've been seeing for the last goodness knows how long, that euphoria all disappears very, very quickly.
And while that's true, let's be honest, the league, I don't think Manchester United as a team, certainly as a squad, are that concerned with the league anymore. They're not going to go down. And
that's what's wrong.
They're not even going to finish top half of the table. So therefore, you can come to Stevie's point. You can come back down, and it doesn't really have much of an effect or impact on the complexion of your season in total. It's all about the Europa League. And to Nadem's point, he's absolutely right. While we could sit here and be critical of moments in the game, and I'm sure Amorim will sit with his squad once he does settles and talk through a lot of those points. You're in the hat. You're in the next round. And I am a firm believer in Lady Luck playing a part in every success. And I think you can look back on every cup win, every title win, whatever it is, and there are moments in there that it just didn't seem like it was going to happen. And then there's just something just sparked, something just happened, something just fell your way. Lady Luck was on your side. And maybe this is Manchester United's. And maybe that's their takeaway. That while we relied on Lady Luck today against Lyon in the second leg, we have to be better than that going forward. That has to be the message. But, and again, I'll echo exactly what Nadam said, you're still in the hat. You've got 3 more games to go to win this Europa League. That's the big takeaway from tonight. The rest, we'll talk about that in the weeks to come.
And I suppose to your point about the Lady Luck as well, Nadam, that second yellow for Corentin Tolisso did play into Manchester United's favour tonight.
Yeah, it certainly did. I think, obviously, when we watch games of football, we see yellow cards be given for that type of thing. But when it's the second yellow, and ultimately for Tolisso, like, what is he supposed to do? You know, you think about the array of different things you can do to get a yellow card, like speaking ill to a referee, going in for a really strong tackle, but then somebody, like, just clips you. You clip somebody completely by accident, and that's it. You're a disgrace. You have to leave the field. It's a shame for him. It's a shame for the game. And, you know, he's playing well for them as well. But as we kind of saw, I guess they only needed 10 players to get a couple more goals anyway. But yeah, it's a shame that that is the way that we do perceive the game. And I'd love to see that changed in the future. And it just felt like, you know, such a big moment that came from something that was so slight that I'd be more than happy to not see yellow cards for that type of thing.
Next up, Athletic, who are on course to play the final in their home ground. Obviously, they got what they needed tonight in a win. That is a tricky game for them.
I think it will be. Bilbao have shown themselves to be a good team, and they did against Rangers, and far more complete. I think far more balanced. And you cannot have Manchester United cannot have the up and down roller coaster. Is that 120 plus 210 minutes that they did against Lyon, against a team like Athletic Bilbao. They have far too many tools up front, and the Williams brothers, they're just too good a team, playing with too much confidence. And they as well come into this one, given with the final being at home, feeling that destiny's on their side, but understanding that has to be earned. It's a tough one. I don't think there's a tougher team left